Brought to you by Diversity Unlimited.
Hi there, and welcome to another amazing video by the Nickel and Dime Press. I'm your host, John Rock, with Diversity Unlimited Accounting and Tax. Please be sure to press that free like button and subscribe to this channel, as I promise that it will have valuable information to help you successfully manage your financial affairs as you grow. In this episode, I want to talk about building your credit as a student. Here, I'll answer a couple of questions, like what is credit and why should you care, and how can you build your credit score before you turn 19 years of age. First, what is credit and why should you care? Well, first, credit is a score that the financial industry uses to assess your credit worthiness. It directly impacts your ability to borrow funds, to buy a car, buy a house, get bank loans, and even credit cards. It indirectly impacts everything else, and we'll talk about that in a bit. A credit score is called a FICO score. FICO stands for Fair Isaac Corporation. It ranges from the lowest of 300 points and goes up to the highest of 850 points. It is made up of a few different metrics that you may want to learn about later, but for this video, I'm just explaining what credit is and how to establish your first credit score as a young person. Many financial gurus today will promote not using credit cards because if used unwisely, a credit card can hurt you. I've even heard pastors preach at the pulpit about not using credit scores and other naysayers, but I think they're mistaken because credit cards are fine so long as they are used wisely and responsibly. In fact, credit cards are a powerful tool for helping you manage your home finances. In learning to establish credit, you first need to learn a few rules. The first rule is, number one, never use a credit card to buy anything if you do not have the money to pay it back at the end of the month. And number two is always pay your credit card off each and every month on time. If you do not have the money in your bank account to pay for whatever it is that you want, don't buy it. Don't buy it with a credit card. You buy it with something else. Go ask your grandmother for the money or something, but do not put it on your credit card. Credit cards are a super convenient way to buy things that you need and want, but remember, it is a loan. The benefit of the credit card is that it will make you a 30-day loan free of charge, but if you do not pay the loan back at the end of the month, the credit card will begin charging you interest on that loan. The credit card company is very happy to let you pay even a minimum amount back on each month's balance, but it will simply charge interest on the remaining amount. This is a snowball effect that you do not want to be caught in, and it can and will avalanche out of control. With that said now, if you follow the first rule of having a credit card, then the second rule will be easy. Do you remember what rule number 2 is? Rule number 2 is always pay your credit card in full and on time each month. The time part is important because if you're late, they'll charge you $40 or so on the charges. And so that too, that $40 will begin accruing interest. So those are the rules of having a credit card. As you begin, I suggest getting a beginner credit card, something to practice with. Think of it like training wheels for your credit score. To begin the process, you get a card through your parents' credit card. They can give you a credit card from their account and give you a limit and everything like that. And then you begin buying and purchasing each month. You go buy a smoothie or a Big Mac meal. And when their bill comes in each month, you simply pay them back. One of the things I have done for my children is that when they turned 15 years old, I got them a limited credit card in their name as part of my own credit card. They carried this in their wallet and they used it. They weren't getting any credit score yet. They were just learning the rhythm of charging and paying off each month. If they had ever gotten to a point that they did not have the cash to pay me back, then I would have canceled their card and started fresh with them and teaching them how to handle their credit. However, I've done this for 2 of my kids, and it's worked like a charm for each of them. After you have a practice card for a few years and you've learned to be responsible with it, the next step is to get a real card in your name and begin building your actual FICO score. You have to have reached the age of majority and turned 18 in order to get your own card. You have to have some cash. I suggest about $500. You'll have to put it on account as a security. Then your limit is the security amount that you just put on that card. And each month you will charge and pay off the balance, and your score will grow. When my daughter turned 18, she got a student credit card with Discover, and she put $500 on that account. After about 9 months, they sent her $500 back and announced that she had proven that she was now credit worthy. They gave her a $2,000 credit balance on her card, and her score was about 725, which is really a great score for a young person and a good score overall. Don't underestimate how important a good credit score is. When I managed an apartment complex, I would not look twice at a tenant with a credit score less than 600, and even that was too low in my estimation. You cannot even get an electric bill in your name if your credit score is too low, and even the price of car insurance is determined by your credit score. A good FICO score tells the world that you are responsible and trustworthy. So it's important to get it established as soon as you reach the age of 18, and to begin training to handle that credit when you are still yet a teenager. Well, that about does it for this topic. Remember, you want to establish your FICO score early, as soon as you turn 18 years old. You begin learning to manage a credit card when you're still a teenager, say 15, 16 years old. And there are only 2 rules for how to handle a credit card. You remember them? The first one is never use a credit card to buy anything if you do not have the money to pay it back at the end of the month. And 2 is always pay your credit card off each and every month on time. If you follow these rules, you'll do fine. Now, if you found this video helpful to you at all, please like it and share it with others. And subscribe and press the bell button so you'll be alerted to the next video from the Nickel and Dime Press. Thank you for giving me the privilege of your time. I'm John Rock. Cheers!